Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Helck, episode 11. I wanted to instinctively say that it is the penultimate episode, but no. Thankfully not. Thankfully Helck is a little bit longer, 2 whole course, as far as we know, at least. Because there might very well be future seasons, which I really wouldn't be opposed to, because I'm really liking my time spent with Helck so far. That's also why I'm recording today's video right now, and by right now I mean it's really late. I really should be going to bed right now, and I'm a little bit under the weather, but I really wanted to watch Helck today. I really didn't want to, push it to the next day, and so that's what I'm doing. Despite my better judgment, I'm sitting here watching Helck, and hopefully my yawning every now and then. I just had to say it. I had to say the Y word, and it made me the Y action do. So hopefully it's not gonna bother you. But yeah, Helck, episode 11. In the previous episode, what happened? Well, the whatchamacallit, Totman O was defeated completely and utterly, and without really breaking a sweat on Helck's part, or Vermilio's part. The people of the what are they called? Something with starting with W, maybe. The boar people. They are now boars, but they used to be like blue, weird creatures. They were turned back into the boar creatures, so a happy ending there. They can now focus on rebuilding their little civilization, their little country. And we set off towards the next city, where they offer a map, but alas, Helck and Vermilio did not have enough money. So they had to procure it somehow, and lo and behold, Shokugeki. We can do some Shokugeki, we can do some cooking, win the main big prize, which just coincidentally is just about enough to cover the cost of the map. Helck, of course, wins. Another character, Ajikaba. Ajikaba has his own shonen protagonist arc in the meantime, which was really fun to watch. I really liked that. I really liked a background one-off character going through an entire character arc within the span of half an episode of a completely different anime, essentially. That was great. Of course, that allowed Helck and Vermilio to procure the necessary money, and now we have the map, and we also have the attention of a bard or troubadour, female troubadour, of a female troubadour named Iris, who is probably from one of the Fallen Kingdoms. Right, Fallen Kingdoms. That's another thing. 2 of the neighboring kingdoms have fallen. Something happened, something triggered that downfall. The kingdom started fighting, and within the span of, I think, what was it, like a couple of months, couple of weeks, some like really short time span, they just both went up in smoke. And right now there's a death warrior stalking those grounds, which makes me believe there is some connection to the Tothman King. They might be taking the same kind of performance enhancing magic, or something thereabout, and something is up, something is fishy with that. And now we are, of course, headed in the direction of those Fallen Kingdoms, because that's on the way to the Demon Empire. And that's it. That's the summary of the previous episode. So in today's episode, we will talk with Iris, perhaps learn a little bit about those fallen kingdoms, and we will set off towards them and maybe arrive. I don't really expect much more to happen within this single episode. Helck has been, all things considered, fairly slowly paced, so that's probably all that's going to happen. I don't think we will get into any sort of a fight with the Death Warrior or anything of the sort. It's just gonna be a little bit of a journey. Perhaps Iris is going to join us on our travels. We will see about that, of course. Right, so how about we just stop talking and start watching? To do that, you will need your subs down below to follow along with me. I'm going to need my sound to hear what's going on. And I'm gonna have to ask you for your support monetary on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 11 of Helck in 3, 2, 1, go. Why do I even bother with a recap if we get a recap? Mint. Cold mint. Yeah, the abandoned territory of the two kingdoms. Okay, Warrior of Darkness, not Warrior of Death. Sure, same thing, really. I got kind of, Death Warrior from Overlord kind of appeared in my mind. That's why I said Death Warrior. When are we getting the next episode of Overlord, by the way? It's been a while, hasn't it? Watch it be fall 2023. No, I know just a few shows in that start in fall 2023, and all of them are sequels. Ancient Magus Bride, Season 2, Second Core. I think Tate no Yusha, also third season, is airing. And I think a couple other sequels to some shows that I've watched and even reacted to. And if you want to go through the shows of the next season with me, I'm gonna be streaming that live as I do every season. So go to my YouTube page somewhere down there, and there's already gonna be a scheduled stream, and you can get notified when it starts and all that jazz. Okay. The Troubadour's Song. So, just a troubadour. Well, for lesser beings, perhaps. Not for Helck and Vermilio. Yeah, we're just gonna punch through. Exactly. It's unlikely to be an issue. No. Pee-wee gets some secret information. Yeah. The ruins everywhere. So it seems like this episode is gonna go a little faster than I predicted. Intense bloodlust or something? Probably. Or is it Helck? No, the Warrior of Darkness. Like, legit just a shadow. I guess the name is fitting. Helck? Oh, instant transmission! Yeah. Easy. Yeah, but it still got sent airborne by Helck's punch. So I was onto something. Trust? Trust and care. Would you look at that? I shouldn't be drinking anything when watching this show. Ooh, okay. Yeah. He managed to draw some blood. Well, that's uncommon. It also has technique, also has some magic. Nah, kinda sorta. Tothman King was ultimately a very small fry. This is a fair bit more powerful. Adamantium. The sword is, yeah, rebuilding. So we can probably assume the warrior himself also has some regeneration ability. Is Helck going full power though? Yeah, that seems fair to assume. In a single blow, so that it isn't given a chance to regenerate. Was it enough though? Probably not. Nothing personal, kid. Probably shouldn't have announced your attack though. And it still probably did nothing. Or at least very little. And it's gonna stand up. Or teleport. Okay, all of that, and Helck is still not going to draw his sword. Interesting. A phylactery somewhere. Some sort of a magic core that you need to destroy first, that it can always regenerate from. Right, what happened? Oh, even more intense bloodlust. There we go. That's... yes. Now Helck is going full tilt. Ah. Yep. Yep. There is a great calamity that can spill out at any moment. Exactly. And he finally unsheathed his sword. I mean, let a man vent a little. Special song. Something that can calm Helck down, I assume. Great subtitles. Yeah, there's no sound of combat. And the sky is brightening. Curious. Interesting. Is Iris perhaps familiar with the Dark Warrior? Family member, friend, something thereabouts? Yeah. How you holding up, man? Your hair looks different? Oh, he lost his hairband thing. But at least his eyes are back to normal. Right. Of course. uh, why would I expect anything else from him? Okay, what's the deal with this Warrior of Darkness? And with Iris, because she knows something, absolutely. Oh, Pee-wee has the hairband. I thought it maybe broke or snapped, but it seems like it just landed somewhere. Is the Warrior of Darkness like former king of this country who asked for power to defend it and was given that power with a, genie's wish, essentially. A cross. Interesting. Right. Essentially a weapon of mass destruction and mutually assured destruction of the two kingdoms. But at what cost? Exactly. Is that Iris on his left? It's most definitely Iris. Yeah. Why did he regain his sanity now, though? I mean, probably because of the song, but. And now he's dying. Yeah, similar to what happened with Tothman King, maybe. He also crumbled to dust in the end, didn't he? Oh? Elaborate? Or are you talking about those guns? A brand new weapon, okay. A cursed sword? A staple of every fantasy adventure story. Iris. And Iris is going to sing now. Pee-wee is never bothered about anything. Okay, so it wasn't the song, it legit was just Helck punching him strong enough to undo the curse. I guess maybe the song had the effect of like weakening him a little. Oto-san? Oh, no, Big Brother, Augis. So Augis is not the name of the country after all. It's his name. Okay, okay. I'm gonna have to look up the lyrics of this song if they exist anywhere. Or I guess she's going to sing it now, so perhaps. Yeah. Sing the fucking song like he asked. Sorry, but he really has like seconds to live, and he really wanted to hear that song. But I guess being able to meet his younger sister the last time is better than a song. Okay, we're not gonna see the lyrics. Hmm. I doubt the lyrics were initially about him. I think it might have been just an excuse me. No, there's gonna be an after credits scene. There's absolutely gonna be an after credits scene because this episode can't be just 19 minutes long. 21 minutes and credits. That works out. 19, something's gonna happen. But yeah, the song couldn't have been about him initially. It was probably instrumental, some sort of a piano composition or a lute composition or something like that. And Iris simply created the lyrics about her brother. Or maybe the lyrics were different originally and she just changed them. I guess that also works. Kind of like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star becoming the ABCD song. The amount of times I heard Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the recent days has been really high. I'm playing Tactop Destiny, Tactop Symphony, sorry, and there's a character based on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and this song always plays when I'm in the menus, like leveling her up, and there's been like 2 story missions about her, helping her figure out the notes for the song. Yeah, a very good outcome in the end. Probably the best one we could have expected. Probably nothing any more dangerous than Augis. And of course, Helck is up. You are so doing it. He's not running, he's flying. Should be disqualified, really. That's an impressive jump. Is he filled with helium? Monsters. Yep. A sandworm. Oh, spoilers. Let's stop it right here. I assume from the spoilers that in the next episode we will go back to the demon realm. We will switch perspective to Azadras, and there's gonna be some fighting with those people, or maybe in some other circumstance. I don't know. I'm not sure. Whatever. Uh, I expected something much worse in the after credit scene, honestly, but ultimately it was it was kind of nothing. uh, okay, let's watch it again, as we always do. Right. Miss Singing Lady. And here is the Warrior of Darkness. Very strong. Strong enough to legit withstand Helck's full tilt blows. Similar magic to when the Tothman King transformed, so I wonder if the source is actually similar. I wonder if perhaps that might be a bit of a stretch, but humans also found this like hex of darkness or whatever it was that they used to transform themselves into warriors of darkness to gain an edge over the opposing country. Human King found that and wanted to use it to strengthen humans, but perhaps reduce side effects, and Tothman King was a test subject. That would explain the similarity, because I don't suppose Tothman, I guess, had access to that very same hex. So it had to have been, transferred somehow. Powerful enough to injure even Helck. Yeah. Yep. Now, it's not much. It's just a scratch on his cheek, but it's legit the most damage Helck has sustained so far in the show. And the sword has regenerated. Is that part of the curse? That the sword can regenerate, but the price for it is something? Because if so, it's probably going to be like the best weapon for Helck. Even if he abuses it to the point of breaking, it will regenerate. So he can be just, not worry about breaking his sword ever again. Just go completely apeshit with it. If it cracks, if it breaks, if it shatters, if it turns to dust, it will be back again. Maybe. Also has a defense. Blowing it away with a single move? Nope. Didn't work. Helck is slowly... His eyes are becoming more intense. There's a shadow on his eye. The progression is slow. The descent into darkness is slow, but it shows. It shows the progression of it. And now an even bigger injury. And now magic, same color, like with the Tothman King. Now, thankfully, even that wasn't enough to destroy Helck. This is some interesting fire. I think it's Fluid Sim. Yeah, I think it's Fluid Sim. It's not particles. I guess Fluid Sim is kind of particles. It's certainly not like a, video of a fire on a black background and then just, pasted on top like sometimes fire is done in anime, maybe with some toon filter or something. This is just Fluid Sim. And now this is, of course, a little bit more like hand-drawn with some brushes and whatnot. But yeah, not even that was enough. It just teleported straight to Vermilio. There's no way to break it without knowing who the spellcaster is. There doesn't seem to be any like spellcaster still alive besides himself. That's actually an interesting topic. This episode in general really expanded the mechanics of the world, right? We know that creatures regenerating this well and this fast are uncommon, if not completely non-existent. Well, sans the human artificial heroes, but Helck and Vermilio don't know about it. We know that teleporting like that is also not something that is a thing. I like that magic in this show. There's like two kinds of magic. There's that eldritch, ephemeral magic of, you know, inscribing some ancient hex somewhere below the ruins to be the last attempt at salvation for a failing country. And there's that very simple magic, really, like pyrokinesis that Vermilio has, right? Just fire. Asdra can just control trees. Vermilio isn't using any sort of healing magic either, right? I really like that that like division of magic. There is the magic that has, I don't want to say strict rules, but has certain strict limitations to it, and that's the day-to-day use magic. But a world with just simple magic like that would kind of lose its shine and would kind of be a little bit boring. So we have that ancient big magic that can change the world in one way or another, that no single person can master to use in a day-to-day way, but it still exists, and its limitations are unknown, if any exist, right? This is cool. I like it. And also, what I wanted to say initially, this raises certain interesting questions. There must be a special magic at work here, and there's no way to break it without knowing who the spellcaster is. So, okay, there's a mage, a powerful mage, who cast a regeneration spell on a powerful warrior. You kill the mage, the warrior loses their protection. Simple enough. What if the mage casts the spell on himself? That's a question. Can he cast that spell on himself? That's actually a good question. Is casting a spell on yourself even a thing? It might just not be a thing. But yeah, this single line really made me wonder how buffs work, essentially. Because sure, you can kill the spellcaster and the buff will disperse, but this didn't disperse despite everybody in both countries being dead, besides this death warrior, warrior of darkness, whatever. I'm gonna use those terms interchangeably. If Helck and I combine our powers, we should be able to get away. And another shiver down her spine, another powerful bloodlust, but this time, not from the Warrior of Darkness, but from somehow even more powerful and arguably even more dark. Keep your hands off my friend, that's the line. That's the line. Helck doesn't much care about himself as much as he cares about his companions, about his friends, which is in line for someone who seemingly has been betrayed by the entirety of humanity. Friends are rare, friends are scarce. So whatever friends there are, Helck imprints on, essentially. And if you slice him and dice him, he's just gonna keep fighting you as his own self. But if you hurt his friends, that's when the demons come out. Also, I really like the changes in art style whenever Helck goes sicko mode. Those wounds used to be just red lines. Now they are legit bleeding. Of course, the shadowing is much harsher and there is a little bit more detail and that like line shadowing. But right, the wounds are suddenly much more wound-like. There is that layer of red tint around them because the flesh is bruised a little and the blood leaves a little bit of a mark and it's bleeding. His eye just glowing, fucking eins all gone. Even his teeth are detailed. Fight me. Helck, yes, the very same, and yet so different. Curious. One punch. And just cracked his entire, like, open, punched a chunk out of him. And oh, this is cool. A shape in the shape of human was left after, like, the frontal armor or miasma or whatever just couldn't, couldn't gain enough speed to go with the character. So, like in cartoons, right? When a character just gets scared so much that they jump out of their clothes. This kind of thing. This is cool. I didn't notice it initially. And yeah, the words of the witch. He is someone far more dangerous than you could ever imagine. That he is. There's a vortex of negative emotions bottled up inside of him. And Helck pulls out his sword only now. Yeah, that sword really is meaningful to him. Last time he pulled it out was when he was fighting the angels, I believe. And they were essentially his friends. So they deserved that sword, quote unquote, is my line of thinking. And now this enemy also deserves that sword. Fists are no longer enough. You attacked my friend. Now I don't want to beat you senseless anymore. I want to slit your throat. That's kind of the significance of it, is what I gather. To bring about a great calamity. No, Helck is not, in fact, listening. Also interesting that he punches much more with his left fist. Oh, no, wait. It's at an angle, isn't it? Yeah, it absolutely is at an angle. Well, now it makes more sense. Because I thought that Helck is punching like this, 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 this. But no, we are supposed to turn our heads like maybe not 90, but like 85 degrees to the left. Yeah, it makes much more sense viewed from an angle. Pee-wee coming in clutch. Cheep, 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 cheep. Interesting that this song... So, what worked in the end? Was it Pee-wee's song that worked, or was it Helck's punches that helped, I wonder? Probably a combination of both, honestly. Like, Pee-wee's song would maybe weaken the curse, make Augie's a little bit more, trying to break out of this curse on his own, restoring his sanity. Helck's punches would eventually wither him down, and but neither would actually like destroy the curse and defeat him. But both combined was what it took. I guess that's what it was. Aoogis, Aoogis. And here's Iris on her pink llama. Helck, you look weird without a headband. And see, now he's no longer going sicko mode, so now his wounds are no longer bleeding. And now, I mean, of course, overall art style is also much more simplified. There isn't any like bulging veins and whatnot, but the wounds are not bleeding. I started noticing, or rather, I started paying more attention to added symbolism of theme shifts, not theme shifts, but like tonal shifts with Zom 100. In Zom 100, whenever the tone is happy-go-lucky fun, oh yeah, there are zombies and there are no rules, the civilization has fallen, we can take a car and we can take a bike and we can ride down the streets and jump from a height and have fun and drink all the booze we want. Hell yeah, that's life. Whenever that's the tone, the blood on the zombies is all colors of the rainbow. It's technicolor. But whenever reality hits that shit, people fucking died. All those zombies out there, they are or used to be people. And my friend I just met also fucking died. And shit, it's serious actually. All of the blood is red now. I start it was such an obvious thing in Zone 100 that it started me that it made me start looking for similar things in other places, in other shows, and this is similar. That's what I wanted to say. A lot of words to say very little. Don't worry me like that. They've become such good friends, didn't they? Right? This episode really exemplifies that. Vermilio showed trust, she showed care, she showed all those things associated with friendship. It's great. I really like the development of their friendship. Do I have it noted down? I certainly do. 100% I do have it noted down. Somewhere. Vermilio stops Helck's rampage. I truly believe it will happen. I truly believe we will have a scene of Helck rampaging, then Vermilio glomping him and saying, "No, Helck, stop, that's enough, he's already dead." You know, something along those lines. Maybe not quite as dramatic, but you know what I mean. You know the trope as well as I do. I still fully expect something like that to happen. No need for staunching the bleeding, no need for healing. Helck can just flex his muscles and heal the wounds. If your 8-pack is strong enough, you just flex it and any cuts disappear. This was weird. I'm gonna be honest. This whole situation really is kind of weird. I wonder if it was the same in the source material, or is it simply the case of adaptation woes of the anime adaptation, just cutting some more or less important things. But it feels weird that we don't really get an explanation of why he stopped, and now he is no longer cursed, and he just went back to the castle, I assume, and just started telling his life story, seemingly out of nowhere and completely unprompted. It's a little bit grating, but like ever so slightly. That like transition from fighting for dear life to this guy just casually talking about his life. People began to resent the other kingdom, as is usually the case. The hatred that it spawned. Things spiraled out of control from there. Crosses. Is it just a generic grave cross? Or is it Christianity cross? Probably the former. Broke the seal upon the forbidden magic of this land. See, that's what I'm talking about. That like additional layer, or rather additional branch of ancient, unknown, forgotten magic that is somewhere still in this world, right? Some magic seal upon the forbidden magic of this land. The Hex of Darkness. I wonder, is it the seal on the forbidden magic of the land? Is it the land as in the land and the people? Or is it the land as in the area? Because if we're talking area, then the Tothman King could feasibly have been in the area and he could have been affected by it. Maybe. I'm gonna note it down just in case. Tothman King was in the area of Hex of Darkness. Alternatively, humans researched Hex of Darkness and experimented on Tothman King. Either theory might be true, or neither of them can be. Right, I want to see the whole story again. All the knights of the kingdom who use the Hex of Darkness to boost their strength gradually lost their minds and mutated into vile monsters. Could it be Tothmen? Was that how Tothmen were born? Although no, mindless and Tothmen weren't mindless. The Hex brought the end to the war. Sure, with such overwhelming power, of course you won't, but at what cost? Destroyed everything because of the rampaging monsters. Exactly, and the rampage didn't stop when you won, because it wasn't a rampage against your enemies, it was a rampage overall, right? We started a fire in the forest and the neighboring village burned to the ground, but well, this fire is growing concerningly closer to our own village now. Kind of a situation. Those fortunate enough to escape the Hex, I wonder how. How could you possibly escape the Hex that is seemingly an ancient magic of the land itself, right? They were helpless against the power of the darkness, of course. There was only one hope left. create the strongest monster there is to eradicate the other monsters. The only chance we had to rely on the same power of darkness, exactly. It really reminds me of the Orokin in Warframe, you know? It really reminds me of the Orokin, because the Orokin in Warframe created sentient machines that can terraform other worlds like the Tau system or other star systems and send them away to terraform. And then those machines rebelled and came back to the solar system, demanding justice. So the Orokin created a technocide virus that can infect machines just as well as it can infect the organics, and they released that onto those terraforming machines, the sentients. Well, what do you know? A virus spreads in unknown ways, so all sorts of various shit arose from that infestation. So the Orokin created. They utilized some Void Tumfakery, and in the end, they created the Tenno, warriors of gun and blade, or whatever they were called in the lore, to get rid of the sentience and get rid of the infestation. Well, they didn't like being treated as slaves either, and they rebelled against the Orokin as well. Like, using a cure and the cure turning out to be worse than the illness itself. It really reminded me of the Orokin situation. And there was someone I was so desperate to protect, I didn't care what happened to me, and that was Iris. And that became an anchor to keep me sane. Makes perfect sense. But then we are led to believe his anchor was killed, but she wasn't. In the end, I couldn't save a single one of them. Nah, not quite. You managed to save at least one of them. That's an impressive weapon. I wonder how is it impressive? It's just a shard of a sword. It's a broken half of a blade. And yet it's still impressive. There's something significant to that blade. And I wonder, is it just this particular blade? Or is it all of the blades that human heroes wield? But we both know it's not something you should be in possession of. Why? I mean, it's a weapon that's been given to a human hero, and Helck is like the opposite of a human hero. Is that why? Or is there some more metaphysical reason for that? I'm intrigued. I'm suddenly much more intrigued by Helck's sword. So far, I thought it's just a nice symbolism, you know? Helck using a broken half of a blade of one of his former compatriots. And that compatriot of his still using the rest of that blade. Right? They fought once, they somehow split apart, Helck remembers, and that guy also remembers. Reminds me of, what was it, Shadow of Mordor? The main character also had like a broken sword and was using it as a shiv. Kind of a similar situation, symbolism. Essentially just symbolism. But now we learn that there's more than symbolism to it. There's some actual power within it. Power that Helck is not supposed to be in possession of. Intriguing. And here we have a different sword. It bears a minor curse. Shouldn't be no problem. Sing the song. When did Pee-wee come in possession of Helck's hairband? I wanna trace that. Just for my own satisfaction. Already has it. Doesn't have it. Has it. Yeah, has it. Doesn't have it. Okay, so it wasn't shown on screen anywhere. I was expecting that we see during one of the scenes that we would focus on Helck and the rest of important stuff. There would be Pee-wee somewhere in the background just casually picking up that hairband, but no, it just happened off screen. And the song. And instead of Pee-wee, it's gonna be Iris herself. Little sister of Augis. And yeah, all this time he thought that he failed at saving her, but no, he did succeed. She survived, thanks to him. You did. And apparently also saved other people. I believe the map seller is also of the same species, so I would assume the same kingdom as well. Yeah, you ended up saving many of our people, so apparently he succeeded. He just didn't know because he was possessed by then. Makes perfect sense. I was hoping we get to hear this song again, but alas. Just the instrumental version. The swords, each of them different, and a lance. I assume the weapons of the human heroes? Maybe. Running, and of course Pee-wee gets himself into trouble because that's what Pee-wee is for. He's for causing trouble and for finding trouble and generally just being trouble. Then again, I guess he actually came in clutch in today's episode, so he's not entirely relegated to just being the annoying mascot. He has some use, which is cool. I'm perfectly fine with a character like that. Way too often, the mascot character is just a useless mascot and is just annoying and useless and annoying and useless. Pee-wee isn't that. He's good-natured in general. He went through all that trouble to find samples of food in the previous episode, right? He helped them, in this case, with the song. I'm fine with Pee-wee the way he is. Okay. That was the episode. And although I started recording it sleepy, that sleep immediately went away. And it's only now that I'm done and the rush of emotions, the rush of adrenaline and whatnot is falling down. I'm kind of crushing. Yeah, now I feel the drowsiness. All right. Great episode. What can I say? Probably one of my favorites so far. Yeah, probably one of my favorites. One because a lot has happened. Quality wise, we had a nice, cool battle. Could perhaps use to be a little better animated, and a good chunk of it was told in slideshows with Vermilio's face plastered in front of it. absolutely valid criticism. But we got to see Helck going apeshit on someone, and we got to see his trigger. This episode served as a source of a fair bit of character building, both for Vermilio and for Helck, which is great in and of itself. It also built upon the world again a fair bit. The world is now bigger than it used to be, and I believe that a show can only claim to have good world building if, maybe not with every episode, but if with every other episode the world grows, or rather our insight into the world grows a little bit. And Helck really works in that way. We now not even know more about magic. We have other things to ponder. It's not that we necessarily know more about the creatures inhabiting this world. We have more reasons to wonder about what sorts of creatures live in this world. That's interesting. That's cool. That's stimulating. However wrong would it not sound? Because if we were told that, okay, there's the ancient magic and then there is the contemporary magic. Contemporary magic consists of controlling of a single element, and ancient magic can span entire countries, etc., etc. If we were told that there exist creatures that can dash short distances very quickly, but there are no recorded cases of teleportation, right? It would be a different thing, because we are told, it's taught to us what is the case, what is the status quo of the world. Not so much the case here. We are left wondering. We are left wondering, how does the magic work? We have another piece of the puzzle. This is cool. This is great. I love it. I love it because I have a lot to theorize about, and I love it because the show doesn't take its own characters as idiots. That's fairly common criticism, all things considered, I have for shows that do a lot of world building by two characters just talking at each other about things that they should know about the world. This is not it. This is like the complete reverse of it. Nothing is told. Nothing is said. In full, outright. We get some comment here, a little bit of an off comment line there, a little bit of something shown here, and we can build the image of the world and of the magic system and of the creatures that inhabit this world slowly ourselves. This is my preferred way of handling it, of course. This episode also served as a fair bit of, maybe not character building necessarily, but showcasing character growth. We see how Vermilio has grown, most of all, and we see how her relationship with Helck has grown. We see those two things. We don't see any growth for Helck, but that's because we don't know anything about Helck. This is another thing that is fascinating to me about this show. How we know nothing, essentially, about who is basically the protagonist. Helck is the namesake of this show. The story is about him, but he's not the protagonist. He's the main character, absolutely, but he's not the protagonist. Vermilio is. I have a feeling I already said that on some occasion during this show. But yeah, this is the case, and it's really fascinating. I can't say that Helck has grown because I have no insight in his head. I have insight into Vermilio, absolutely. I know what she's thinking. I know how her train of thought changes. I know how her feelings towards Helck change. I know that because she says as much. Helck is ultimately a poker-faced slate that I really have no insight into. Those like bits and pieces that you sometimes see that, okay, he's caring, he can cook, there's darkness within him, right? Those bits create an image of Helck, but we don't see his internal workings. They are hidden from us. That's cool. I like it. I like it. I really do enjoy it. I really do enjoy this show. And I don't regret sacrificing my sleeping hours to watch it. uh, but yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I think that's gonna be it. But maybe you guys have something more to add. If so, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers from the source material, please. Clarifications are cool, spoilers are not. Spoilers go to my Discord up here and also in the description below, where you can talk spoilers to your heart's content. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Helck but also Zom 100, Atelier Aiza has already concluded, Nanatsu no Makengashi Haisuru, Undead Girl Murder, Farce, and Magia Record, Ancient Magus Bride, and others coming at you very, very soon. And I also stream sometimes, as I already said, seasonal summaries, gacha games, stuff like that. So click the bell somewhere there to be notified when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon down below in the description, where for $10 a month you get early access for non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me on YouTube with those like super thanks and membership and super chat and super sticker and whatever buttons also below. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful patrons: QB, Without a Net, The Cripple Survivor, Zetran, Zay, Rainer, Akamancer, Marsh, Fassel, Dr. Wotuke, Hans, Peter, and you can join them without having to face your darkness.